Hi, I'm Charlotte and I'm the Creative Technology Director at Mindshare. In the next few sessions, we'll hear from a range of experts from both Mindshare and our media partners who will dig deeper into each of the trends Sophie just talked us through. First up, we're going to explore the over to you trend in more depth. Sophie has just talked about how we are moving from more passive media consumption to active participation. We're seeing the creator economy mature, fandoms rule, and more collaborative media experiences emerge. As such, it's people, not platforms, that are increasingly in the driving seat. Shortly, Mark Bashnonga, Mindshare's joint head of strategy, will host a live panel with Paul from Twitch and Gemma from TikTok to dive into this trend further. But before we do, we'll first hear from TikTok, who will be talking to us about the evolution of the creator economy and how brands are working with creators to connect with communities and drive growth in the process. Now I'll hand over to Roisin to kick off the session.
It goes without saying that life during the pandemic has been incredibly difficult for many people. Social media usage increased massively during this time as people sought new forms of escapism and more ways to connect with the outside world. With this rise of social media usage, we also began to see a shift of influence. Many people began to struggle to connect with celebrities and big name influencers in the same way that they did pre-pandemic. The claims that we are all in this together were not necessarily ringing true for a lot of people, and celebrity and influencer culture and the lifestyles associated with that were quickly and widely deemed unrelatable. As this old guard of influence fell out of favour, new everyday heroes began to emerge. Our frontline and essential workers really became the true heroes of the pandemic. And it's amidst this backdrop that people started to reevaluate what influence was worth. Relatability trumped aspiration, and being truthful was better than being perfect. It's within this landscape that the TikTok community has really gone from strength to strength. This is because we are a place where anyone can be an everyday hero, where authenticity thrives, and where everyone can feel comfortable expressing themselves and being true to who they really are. We recommend videos to our community based on what rather than who they like. This unique way of recommending content is how creators on TikTok can go viral without even having a single follower. And fierce fandoms around previously unknown creators have also taken shape. TikTok-specific features such as the comment section, duetting, and video replying features on our app allow creators to connect with their fandom in ways that they've never been able to do so before. We really are humbled to be a place of connection for our 1 billion plus strong community, where our community find authenticity, happiness, and joy every single day on their For You page. But it's really all thanks to our amazing creators and their joyful content that make this happen.
Since the pandemic, creators have been bringing joyful distraction and a greater sense of community to users when the world needed it the most. Now, TikTok creators are part of a $104 billion industry that's been built by their rapidly growing power to create, influence, and connect with communities of consumers. In 2021, we saw brands using creators to tell their brand stories and drive deeper connections with their consumers, like M&S, Subway, and Sky have all been doing. Group M have also been scaling their dedicated influencer agency, Inca, who we often work with to activate campaigns like these. But according to Kantar, we've only seen the beginning of this. 71% of senior marketers expect to increase spend of branded content by influencers in 2022. So we can expect to see a lot more creator content from brands. It's no wonder really from our internal TikTok research we've seen that brands that work with creators drive incredible results. TikTok specific ads in partnership with creators capture attention and get noticed. We also see a higher ad recall for TikTok-specific branded content in collaboration with creators. Ads crafted for TikTok with creator partnerships also achieve higher view-through rates and higher engagement rates. TikTok-specific branded content is also watched longer than non-specific content and is preferred by consumers. 62% say that creators posting sponsored content on TikTok is the best way for brands to connect with consumers. And 54% say that this is the type of activity that they would like to see from brands.
It's no surprise then that the creator economy also helps to influence real life sales on TikTok, because e-commerce on our platform is powered by our creators and the community. We've seen it with the likes of TikTok Made Me Buy It, where it's really the power of influence that's making products fly off the shelves. Now, at TikTok, we are evolving our e-commerce propositions to respond to this evolving creator-led behaviour, such as our TikTok shopping suite of solutions, which we announced live at our TikTok World event last year. Because TikTok users trust and relate to creators on the platform, they trust them to deliver the best content when it comes to product reviews and endorsements. And this has led to a new type of commerce, which we like to call community commerce. Community commerce is entertaining, it's compelling content that just so happens to feature brands as well. It's creator-driven, word-of-mouth marketing, and it offers a huge potential for brands. To explain a little bit about how this works, on TikTok, it's not so much a marketing funnel as it is a continuous flywheel. The joyful product discovery that's so special to TikTok and to community commerce feeds into awareness. The built-in trust and believability that characterises content on the platform drives higher consideration amongst consumers. And the willingness to buy is key to driving conversions. Those conversions then create new opportunities for creators to make UGC about a product and start the cycle all over again. This means that every moment on TikTok really is an opportunity for conversion. This means that brands are going to have to start thinking a little bit differently about how they can get involved in community commerce, because it's really about harnessing the power of creators to sell your product for you. The key to a successful community commerce strategy then will require brand owners to step away from the reins and prioritise influence and give the control over to the creators.
We predict that in 2022 and beyond, creator well-being and fair financial rewards will be an ongoing topic of conversation, and all UGC platforms will continue to roll out more extensive creator benefits. This has already been happening, as we have seen Snapchat revamping their creator payouts by offering chances to win cash with Spotlight. YouTube has expanded its $100 million Shorts funds globally. Pinterest announced a $500K creator fund, and Clubhouse promised its accelerator participants brand deals of $5K per month. Spotify also announced new features to further support creative creators. At TikTok, we've introduced Creator Next, where eligible creators can easily unlock new and existing tools to be rewarded for their creativity on TikTok. Features include the TikTok Creator Fund, which rewards creators for making incredible TikTok videos. We also have a live gifts where TikTok awards diamonds to creators based on the popularity of their live videos. With video gifts, creators can now collect diamonds, not only by going live, but also by posting videos. We also want to make it easier for creators to collaborate with brands on TikTok. So we've opened the TikTok Creator Marketplace. Through Creator Next, eligible creators with 10K or more followers can now sign up to the marketplace to collaborate with brands, opening new ways to get paid. But it's not just financial incentives creators are looking for. It's broader than this. Creators are looking for holistic well-being development opportunities and for platforms to support their ambitions and goals. In September last year, we launched our #Black Voices Challenge to find the first TikTok Black creator trailblazers in the UK. The Black Creator Trailblazers programme is designed to nurture and develop 30 talented emerging Black creators and music artists. The Trailblazers will benefit from a series of bespoke educational events, workshops and community building forums, alongside a 100K Black Creative Fund that will be made available to the Trailblazers by TikTok to help them realise their creative dreams. To truly empower creators, Platforms need to start complementing money-backed initiatives with a suite of non-monetary policies that support creators holistically. You've seen that creators continue to build their communities on and off our platform, and that brands will leverage them to retell their brand stories. Creators are the lifeblood at TikTok. We are on a journey to ensure that they are continually supported and engaged on our platform. Watch this space for even more creator developments from TikTok.
Good afternoon and welcome to our panel discussion on the Over to You trend. I'm Mark Bashnonga, the Joint Head of Strategy at Mindshare, so I'm going to be hosting this chat. I'm delighted to introduce our two panellists, Gemma Britton, the Agency Partnership Manager at TikTok, and Paul Nesbitt, the Director of International Insight and Measurement at Twitch. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
In the video, there was a lot of talk around the creator economy, so we're going to continue the conversation looking at some of the other themes that are covered in our trends, and importantly think about some of the implications for brands and some of the opportunities. So on to the first question. Our trends research has pointed to a shift in people being just happy to consume content to actually wanting to actively participate. They want to get involved, they want to kind of reinterpret, reimagine, remix the things that they see in the content they come across. Does this change the rules of storytelling for brands, and are there any risks associated with that? And Paul, I'm going to come to you first on that.
Yeah, no problem at all. But I think what we're actually looking at is new opportunities to tell stories in a different way for brands, and certainly alongside more kind of traditional media forms. If I think about Twitch in particular, I think if a brand wants to get into Twitch, there's opportunities with traditional media. You can literally put video advertising against the stream, build your credibility with the community, and the community actually really, really likes that because actually they know that the advertising is supporting the streamer's career. But if you want to get a little bit more into, I suppose, making the most of the new services, you can start working with the creators there. So giving your brand over to the creators and working with those creators or those partners which we have at Twitch, and then allowing them to, I suppose, engage your brand with their communities. So they know how best to engage their community, and they know how to connect your brand with their particular communities. And if you want to go a little bit more deeper into that, then obviously you can work with our brand partnership studios. Our brand partnership studios are the ones who know how to create specific content or new stories for the Twitch audience. So we know that our audiences, some of them love to create and just create content. So advertising which allows them to create, share with the community, really, really works for this particular audience. And then obviously some people love to game. So if you can create a game out of your content and create a game out of your advertising, again, it really, really engages with those audiences. So I think it's not that storytelling is changing, there's just new opportunities based on the services and the technology which is out there now.
Yeah, a range of options. And Gemma, how about in terms of TikTok? You know, the rules of storytelling, how does that work?
I would definitely say like brands need to let go of the reins a little bit when it comes to working with creators. Like they know the platform really well. So, you know, use their forte essentially and take advantage of it and just let go a bit. Just be brave.
Yeah, and I think that kind of letting go of the content allows for things to kind of gather pace and a life of their own, which kind of helps kind of, you know, set trends, which kind of links into our next question. So given that people on your platforms are helping shape culture, they're seeing content and they're reimagining it and moving it on, and that kind of gets critical mass, how can brands quickly spot emerging trends and capitalise them either to drive sales or brand metrics? Gemma,
yeah, I love this question. Definitely utilise the platform, use it. I encourage all my clients to use TikTok as a platform, as a user, because then you'll start to spot trends yourself. You can use the search bar, search for your brand, see what communities are already talking about on the platform. A great example for me, and one close to my heart, is M&S. M&S Food have got an amazing TikTok page. They're constantly jumping on organic trends. They do it really quickly, and with some paid peaks, it's really worked for them. My favourite was a Squid Games one that they did at the time when it was really relevant. It was so funny, and it was just a great example of spotting those trends, jumping on them, but in an authentic way. And yeah, it's impacted their bottom line sales. It was reported last week, so it's done really well for them.
Yeah, I think that authenticity is key, isn't it? That you just don't want to jump on it. You've got to kind of really kind of think about how the content's going to resonate with other people and let it drive forward.
You don't want to just jump on a trend for the sake of it. You've really got to research it.
And Paul?
Yeah, I agree with actually using the services. Actually go on Twitch, understand what it is, understand how the communities like to engage with content. I think that's a great starting point. I think also just working with experts, I think, because brands are coming into new scenarios. A lot of the work we do on the insight side over at Twitch is using our first-party data to really understand audience trends, what's happening, what type of content they're into, and actually using that data to then help our advertisers activate on Twitch, making sure that they're working in the right spaces or on the kind of the latest trends. So I think that's a really, really good opportunity. And again, working with the experts in the creative sense as well. I've talked before about the sort of brand partnership studio, but they really understand Twitch, they really understand live streaming, they understand kind of gaming, they understand what the audiences are into right now, and they can help you with those first steps and making sure, to your point, when you're showing up on Twitch, you're showing up in a really authentic manner. I think that's really, really the most important thing. So, but yeah, keeping an eye on the trends, understanding what's going on, immersing yourself in there and being there is definitely the first step.
Yeah, so it's kind of key to kind of co-create with those creators and see some control, but also have input as yourself as a brand.
Yeah, it's their forte, isn't it? Like they know the platform more than anyone, so take advantage of that, absolutely.
Exactly.
Interesting. And you know, in the video, and obviously we're anticipating a lot of increased spend in branded content, and obviously your platforms have grown. And as more brands move into this space, do you think there's a risk that people will tire of this kind of content? And how can brands and yourself as platforms keep this fresh and engaging?
Should I take that one first? Yeah, I'll take that one first. It's really interesting. People are not going to get tired of it if you continue to be creative. But I think we've touched on, I think when you're talking about branded content and connecting now with audiences, and particularly Gen Z audiences or audiences on Twitch, I think there's probably 3 tenets you need to think about. The first one is being authentic. People are moving away from kind of over-stylized kind of content, kind of heavy production type content. They like it raw, they like it human, and they can kind of find that on Twitch. So I think that trend is only going to grow as we kind of move forwards. Being creative, it sounds like a no-brainer, but making sure that you're not kind of repeating what other campaigns are doing something new, doing something fresh, is going to stop people obviously getting bored of those. But I think part of that is understanding the services and the technology out there as well, and understanding where that is going and where you can take your brand within it. So if you're within Twitch, obviously understanding live streaming, how the community interacts, and how can you then take your brand into that experience? And then understanding that technology is driving people's expectations as well. I think we were talking earlier backstage about the next younger cohort coming up, your Generation Alpha cohort, are going to know a world which is, VR, AR is going to be particularly normalized for them. So brands are going to have to think about how do you kind of utilize that type of technology. And if you're using and kind of pushing that technology, which is going to be driving their expectations, then you're going to seem creative.
There was a lot of talk about digital natives a few years ago, but we're going to move into kind of augmented reality natives, which means, as brands and as agencies, we need to be thinking now about that to kind of really appeal and connect with them.
As long as it's entertaining, people will keep watching. Like we've seen from our ever increasing dwell time on TikTok, that it's not going down, it's going up. People are entertained, they'll come back for more. And if brands really lean into that and start to understand their communities and tap into it, that's when they'll succeed.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, probably our last question, but with the growth of users on your platforms and the number and variety of digital communities formed around passion points have grown, I'm reading a lot of commentary that says because of that we need to create highly targeted content that appeals to these communities. Or should we be considering something more universally appealing, or appealing to more kind of macro mindsets and understand our audiences more together rather than individual communities? Where does the balance lie on that?
I'll take that one first. I think there are benefits to be going and targeted, but not too targeted. I think looking at communities of interest, so if you're looking at people who are into sports, music holistically, people into sneakers, which is a big subject of mine, kind of getting people in those communities and target them in those mindsets is kind of the right way. I don't think you want to go too far into it. But there's a really easy way for brands to engage with these communities as well. It's not you have to devise a strategy to engage the sneakerheads. It's like actually work with creators, streamers who know those communities, know how to kind of reach and kind of engage them, and give your brand over to them a little bit as well, and let them, I suppose, do the engagement piece for you, or kind of the hard work on that side.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, I love football, Everton, but I also love shopping and beauty, and so I don't just fit in one bucket. I can fit into lots of them. So it's having to think about that. Also, you're creative, making sure it's appealing to everyone and to your audience, and a good mix of that upper funnel for mass reach, and then underpin that with targeting afterwards, and that's what I would say, a good mix.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, I think that's about all we have time for. So thank you so much for coming and sharing your insights. Really nice chatting with you. And if you stay tuned, I think we're going into a short break. If you stay tuned and come back after the break, we'll be getting into the next trend, which is all around shoppable media.